be on sight. I gotta work with this brave fool. Oh yeah!
Hey, it's back. I'm back. It's Mike Rader, and I'm here with Rantin and Ravin with Rader on the MCBCFA Network. Today I'm bringing you episode 3, which is going to have some coverage from a local con I went to. Also in this episode, we are launching the MCBCFA scavenger hunt. It's going to be all across the Play Network. There's going to be 6 videos where you will search out the letters M, C, B, C, F, A. I am starting us out with the letter M. So what you have to do is look for items that start with the letter M that I show you. Remember, there may be more than one. There could be multiples. There should be multiples. You're going to record all of those in each video that you watch, and every participant will tell you what you're looking for. So in here, you're going to look for everything that starts with the letter M. You'll record those. The next video is C, B, C, F, A down the line. Then you will take all those and send them in an email to mcbcfa@gmail.com. Once that happens, you're in the running for the scavenger hunt prize. So, with that, we are going to get things started here with a little bit of history. So the con I went to is the Great Lakes Comic Book Convention, further known as GLCC. The GLCC is here in suburban Detroit area, so it's a couple hours away from me in Michigan. I've been going there since 2014. It's been around for 9 years. It's a pretty solid con. It's not huge. It's a smaller, maybe smaller level, but it has a good amount of Michigan vendors, artists. They brought in 34 special guests and artists, so but it's between the TV type personalities and artists, writers, different comic book creators, collaborators type things. They have quite a few. There's probably like 150 different things to see when you count everything. They have like a little arcade you can play for free. They have the Great Lakes Garrison of the Star Wars. There's G.I. Joe. There's a whole bunch of different stuff that you could see, as well as the personalities. So, speaking of it being in Michigan, a lot of those are Michigan-based that we get. We get some outside, but a lot of it's Michigan-based people. So some of them are very much a solid foundation to the con. And one of those solid foundations to the con is Jay Brandt, and he runs Heads Up Studio. Heads Up Studio is can be found on Facebook or headsupstudios.com. And he has this great little art style. He draws comic book characters, other pop culture things, and he draws them with his own style, where it's just mostly a headshot, heads up, and they usually have some kind of crazy little eyes, like this. These are all prints. Love that Bifrost on here. Had to get the Loki with that Bifrost. These are all his 11x17 prints. DC Big Bad. And they were on sale because he's kind of transitioning away from the prints. He's going to actually canvases. It's easier to transport and everything like that. And people, they already come mounted. And he really likes the idea. Fairly inexpensive. And chewy. So some have a little more embellishment, as you saw, like with the Loki and the Martian Manhunter. And some are just a headshot. Those were $2 each. That was great. $10 for those 5. I also always pick up a vinyl from him. This is how I first got to know him. I picked up Storm. I'm gonna adorn these on my filing cabinets. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch my other videos where I talk about storing my collection. And then walking around with those, I actually saw another Michigan-based, a member of our community here, in the MCBCFA. It's comic book displays. They can be found at comicbookdisplays.com. They can also be found on Facebook by the same name. And Dave runs it. Dave gave me a great deal on this 11x17 frame. They're high quality. They're really nice. Love it. I can't wait to get it something mounted up and put in there and sent out. Or set up, displayed. So that kind of wraps up my first little section here, the introduction. So now we're going to move into the guests I've seen, such as got signatures and autographs from. So, without further ado, here we go. I'm going to show you here now all the books I got signed at the convention yesterday. We're going to start it out, hit right into it, with William Messner Loebs. I had 3 books signed by him. Thor, 501 and 502, that was the end of the regular run. I really like this one. The white cover allowed for a really great signature, so that looks really nice. And then Max, number 1/2. You can see it up on the top there, maybe. Yeah. That one is a Wizard exclusive from '93. So, and that is the. I don't know if you can see if I can catch it. Maybe because I think the bag is doing it enough. But this is a metallic foil Max 1/2 by Messner Loebs. Not bad. I bought it last weekend for $1. Got it signed for $5, so $6 total on that. Not a bad little price there. That was pretty good. So that was the first artist. I was gonna have him do a sketch, but he kind of ran out of time. I thought he would work really well with getting one of the other autographs I got. I thought it would work out, like kind of having kind of like a jam piece type thing, but it didn't quite work, so no big deal. Next, we move into Al Milgrom. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 books myself signed for him. I try to get a Hulk done from everybody who's done a Hulk book or anything on it. Milgrom has done quite a few covers at least. He was editor on a bunch of them. He did inking. He did all kinds of stuff. But here, I have an Incredible Hulk 258. Got him to sign that one. I enjoyed this. I always liked this cover with the Soviet super soldiers there fighting. Ursa Major was always a character I thought was cool. Kind of strangling the Hulk there. He did that one. He had a combo on the cover there. He's part of this. Funny story in this one, the West Coast Avengers here. I got a West Coast Avengers 30. He did a few of these. The Composite Avenger, I love this one because it was insane. And so I told him, I said, I had to get this done because this is an insane cover. And he started laughing. He said, well, the whole story behind this one is that I want to beat Burns' run of like 108 consecutive or 105 consecutive books without a break. He said, so I was going for like 110, 108, 110. He said, and they were going to have a break on here from the regular team. And he said, oh, it was just a throwaway issue, kind of a fill-in throwaway issue. He said, whoa, I'll write a story there. So he wrote it and did the art and the cover. Fun little story I got from him. It was nice. Then the one I got from my buddy Josh Poffler, Secret Origins number 4 from Firestorm. I thought he had some really good placements for his signatures. I love that one right there in the middle. So Milgram, I love that cover. Somewhat reminiscent. I like that one. It was really, really good. A good story too. I suggest reading those Secret Origins. The Mighty Thor number 440. First appearance of the Thor Corps. I love Beta Ray Bill, so had to get that one signed by Mr. Milgram. And then we move into a piece that I am going to turn into a jam piece. Technically, kind of started that. I missed one of them that I could have gotten, I think, today. But I got this one from Al Milgrom, and then that starts my next one. My next character is next creator there is letterer Tom Orkowski. He hit down at the bottom here as well. So this is going to be one I take around. I think you've seen some people doing it, especially John Ebright. He has one, or he got the winner on that one. But multiple people are going to sign this one because there's a lot of people working on this one. Plus, it's a cover I loved. And then, so I had him do that one. And then, like I said, always get a Hulk. And he's like, oh, my one Hulk issue I did. Which was very cool. That I found the one. He hit that down to the bottom with a nice silver Sharpie. So I got that one from him. That was fun. It was an Al Milgrom cover, by the way, too. Milgram's signatures were 5 apiece, so I already had put like $25 into it, so I just kind of backed off on getting more and more. It was a lot. Orikowski get me Alpha Flight, X-Men Alpha Flight 1 and 2, and then that moves me right into my next character. I keep saying character. Next creator, which is Bob Wycheck. He signed this one as well. So Orikowski though was the letterer, and that was again fun. I had a great conversation with him as well. Talked to him a little bit, and I said, hey, look, I just wanted to let you know, be honest with you, I always thought that lettering was super easy. I just thought it was like, I mean, I write every day, so I said, how could that be hard in my mind, right? That's what I thought. I said, but turns out that lettering is much more difficult than you think. I said, because I wanted to make a script on it, make it look really good on a paper, a picture I drew, and all it ended up looking like was a crappier version of my own handwriting. And he started laughing so hard, because, it's probably true, what people think a lot. And maybe he's heard it before, but he laughed really hard, and he said, plus, you got to make sure you don't get bored, and that you're paying attention. He's like, because, you got to keep it uniform and neat. And I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought about all those things. It's like a college course, just non-stop, right? But he said he was happy with it, and he said, like in this book especially, he said, oh, look at all the great stuff I was reading. Or I was writing. So he got to read Claremont's story as he was writing it. Then he just got to see the artwork that was being done. So it was a very good conversation too. He was great to talk to. Really enjoyed him. But as I said, that moves us into Bob Wycheck. He got both of those covers. Again, Hulk cover. Always get one. Like this one. Milgram did this one as well. But like I said, the money. This was just a great one because it had such a cast of characters. Wycheck helped on this cover too. So I like that one especially. But a great cast of characters because you had like the West Coast Avengers and you had Hulk, and that was a really, really fun one. I always like when there's a lot of characters on them, when you get someone to sign it so you can get a little difference. Grabbed a Star Wars one from him as well that he did. Really liked that. It's a great cover. I got this for my son a couple years ago because it had the Stormtroopers on it. I've always been a Dewback fan. I thought they were great characters or creatures. So I took this back from him because he kind of had it in a box that he totally forgot about. So mine now. I talked to him a little bit, Bob a little bit, and he said that, I asked him, I said, I'm sure that everybody to work with was good, or maybe people had little confrontations or whatever, but I said, I'm sure everybody was good to work with and stuff like that. And he said, oh yeah, it was great. And I said, but what was someone that really, like, when you worked with them, it really helped you move along, really, or moved your career, or felt that they were, like, as a benefit, or it was just really a worthwhile thing. And one of the people he named off was Walter Simonson. And I thought that was awesome. He said, yeah, that he was working with was really good. Really helped him to move forward on his stuff and just helped his career out. And he was very enjoyable. So, me loving Walter Simonson, that was great to hear. Now we're going to move to my next creator, who is Mr. Bob Layton. Bob, I got him on a Hulk. When I thought of Bob signing, this was like the book I thought of, because for some reason, I don't know why, but I always remembered this book, that he did this book. Maybe because it was a creative way he put it in. Like, his name on the art for the how everyone signs it, it's up here on this note on the trucker's thing. It's a little note that says, call Madge, and it has a kind of a number you can't really see, and it says Bob Layton. I don't know, maybe that stuck out to me, but I always loved this one. The cover itself was great. I had to get him to do that one. He kind of chuckled. He's like, well, Annual 7 is my most famous one, and here you give me this book. And I was like, I love it. I just love it. So, then this was a great book. This was a fill-in issue in the middle of Walt's run on Thor, but I just thought this one was great. Look at Hercules. Such a jerk. Such a sexy beast jerk. So that was one I had to grab from Bob. And then another fun one that I was after for a couple years. I think we talked about this when I got it. The Supervillain Origins or whatever, Supervillain Classics, Galactus the Origin. He was working on a Galactus piece very similar to that right when I got over to his table, which was really cool. Now finally, The last artist I met, comic creator, I've already met him before, but I went and got some more books, was Angel Medina. Got a couple Warlocks signed, Warlock and the Infinity Watch #1. Why not? It should be maybe a popular book. And I love this one right here because I'm a big fan of the Mole Man and the Moloids. So Medina on here was a great one. I told him, I said, I love this. This is one of my favorite covers. He's like, they're all my favorite covers. Again, I kind of chuckled and laughed, and I was like, right, I understand that. But I said, the subject matter, how good. And he's like, yeah, that's a fun one. So those were all my creators, comic creators, the creative teams behind the comics. And I did get one more autograph, one that I was very excited about. I had listened to his interview with him just recently this past year, before the end of the year, on the Genius Cast with Lanny Poffo. In case anyone doesn't know who that is, that's the Macho Man's brother. He was the Genius and Leaping Lanny Poffo in WWF back in the day. But he had an interview with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hacksaw, I remember him. I know, how could you forget him? I liked him, but he was never one of my favorites because I loved the Macho Man. There was other characters, but I had a chance to meet him, and I really enjoyed his interview. So I met with him and got the 2x4 signed. Took my own in, so it was a little bit longer than what he was selling. He didn't sell them; he just signed it. He would sign it for $20. So got a signature from him, which is fantastic. I was going to get Bill Messner-Lobes to do a sketch on here because I felt like his art would lend very well to the likeness of Jim Duggan. So I wanted to do that, but it was a little bit more pricey because he was charging $50 for a head sketch on a comic, and that's what he was charging me on this board, which I thought was crazy because I went from a full blank comic to a 2-inch head sketch, and it was the same price. So he was also afraid he wasn't going to be able to finish it, and when I went over to talk to him to get my books signed and tell him that I had opted out of it, he still wasn't done with the books he was working on, and I probably would have missed my chance to get it done. So it was a good decision on my part overall. The money, the value wasn't there from what he was doing, so for other people. So that's all my signatures this time. So now we're gonna move right into my next section here. So we had all the autographs and all the people I met. Now we're gonna go over the books. I ended up pulling in, I think I got about, 35 to 40 books. Pretty good. About 35. So I ended up having 4 $5 books, 5 $1, and 26 50-cent books. So most of my money was spent on 50 cents, but obviously not a lot. So with that, I ended up completing a couple runs. The Avengers, both portions of Simonson on Avengers Volume 1 and Volume 2. He didn't do much in Volume 2, but I only had half the books. And then on Avengers #1, he did, I think it's 8 issues, and I had 5 of the 8. So I ended up grabbing the other 3. I needed 292. 298, and 299, and that finished that run out for me. So that was really cool. All 50 cents. So yeah, 50 cents. You're gonna hear that a lot. So for Volume 2, I needed 11 and 12. Not the best stuff in the world, and this was the Heroes Reborn type stuff or whatever in that story when they were gone. But Simonson did work on it, and it was pretty decent. Actually, Heroes United wasn't half bad when they had to try to make the whole thing work across the land, but it was okay. And then another piece from his Volume 3, I think it's Volume 3, maybe it's 4, I don't even know, The Avengers, number 34, The End Times. This was when this one was ending, but this Simonson wrote that one as well. So, all up front, just for my buddy Josh, hitting all my Simonson stuff. Grabbed a Battlestar Galactica number 13. Finished out another Simonson run. Wolverine Havoc. Had never found number 2. Ever seen it. I didn't know it even. I thought it was a myth. I told my buddy just the other day. Grabbed a rando 50-cent New Gods, number 12 here. Byrne wrote it. Yeah, it turns out I could have had it signed at the con. After I looked at it, I realized that it was inked by Bob Wycheck, who I mentioned I met earlier. But Simonson did the cover of this one, so that was fantastic. Then I pulled into, I think I got 2, 3, 4, 5 Simonson Thor books. 345, 47, 48, 50, and 54. Some of these are some fantastic covers too. Some of his really good ones are right in here. I don't know, I liked this one where he's dangling Lorelei. Malekith in the battle armor was great. That was a really good one. And how can you not love anyone that has Beta Ray Bill on it? And he's kind of taking up a big portion of it, even though he's not the first character. And then this one, they recently put this one out, I think 2 years ago for Halloween Comics Fest. So that was the same one. They just had a little bit of different picture on it. So another great set there. A book from his X Factor run where his wife Louise was writing it. Number 18 on that one. And then I got the Superman gallery book. This one was $1. So other ones were 50 cents. Walt did the cover of this one. It's a flip cover. And all it is pinups, essentially. It's just pages. If you read the read along with me, if you were reading The Death of Superman, here we go. Jurgens and Brett Breeding. So that's one that we're familiar with, right? We've seen that one a few times. We have Jerry Ordway. This has got so many people. George Perez. One of my other faves, Jim Steranko. I've always been a big fan. Miller and Byrne. It's a who's who of artists in this book. So for $1, I was totally happy. Mike Zeck. There's another. Oh, it's in here somewhere. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, there was one that I was really looking for. Well, but they've got everybody. Rude and Neil Adams. There's everybody in here. So this one's really full of all the cast of characters. The last of my Simonson stuff is the giant size Uncanny X-Men Giant Size Annual number 9. X-Men in Asgard. This is a good one. It's a little shot. I got it for $1. It's a little ratty. It's got some water damage. I already have the story in the trade, but I just wanted to have it because of what it is, and I enjoyed reading it. So next up, no more Simonson. But I did score 3 of the amalgam books for 50 cents. So I have Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nice one. The Dark Claw. And Super Soldier. So another little dent on those for me. That's good because I've been trying to collect all those up. And I've just been hitting and missing. I've been catching them for like $4 or $5, which was crazy to me. But 50 cents on those ones. Another 50-cent one. Again, we just read this here. So The Death of Superman. I love Doomsday in that rubber suit. So I had to grab it for 50 cents. Couldn't pass it up. I think we all know. Now I'm moving into more random books. And just not necessarily any cohesiveness to like the whole run there. But this one is one. It's Art Adams. I love him. And I'm trying to get all the Monkey Man and O'Brien. So the Monkey Man and O'Brien special, 50 cents. Power Pack 18. Finished out my Power Pack. They had the crossover. And they had Beta Ray Bill and Curse and everything going on here from the Thor run when Simonson was on it. He did the first book of it. He did not do the second one. But Wheezy wrote this, so at least a Simonson connection. I didn't find a lot of the books that we were talking about. We all had been talking. I asked for some help, trying to help me locate the more stories with Doomsday. After I read The Death of Superman, I was enjoying it. I didn't find a whole bunch. I found some stuff, but I did find one of the things. Book 1 of the Doomsday Hunter Prey. This was a 50 cents. I was glad I bought this one for 50 cents, and I'll just keep searching for the other 2. I could have bought all 3 for $5, which it wasn't a bad price, but I had already spent a decent amount of money, so when I came across that for 50 cents, I was pretty happy. I always enjoyed the What Ifs, and I enjoy Thor now, so I picked up a Thor one, What If Thor. You saw me earlier say I got that one, got a second Heroes for Hope with the X-Men, bought one, found a better copy for cheaper, so I bought a second one. Who knows, maybe someone will get that one in the mail. Love the Elseworld stuff. So Superman Distant Fires, that's one I bought here. $1 for this one. I love the Elseworld, so I bought that. And then finishing it off, I got another one for my homage collection. Incredible Hulk #1 homage. It's the Doomed #1. So I like that one. Good for $1. Now I get into my big books, the $5. We have one for my birthday, October 1978, birthday month. $5, don't matter the price. Godzilla, number 15. There's always a booth that has a rack of everything is $5 on the racks, and then there's a second set of boxes that are all $5. And then you can also, there's other ones that are more regular price, but there's a bunch of Silver Age, Bronze, and some modern. Usually that's variants and stuff, but I don't care. So I spent $20 at that booth. Collected up another one for my Hulk collection, a Hulk 169, and they're all pretty good books. That Godzilla is a very nice book. These are really nice. Thundercats #5, really nice book on here, and Thundercats #9, and this is even really good. The white is fantastically white, and these are all from the Star line, so they're not really new, but I love these. I'm trying to get all this whole run from the Star line. It's coming along. It's coming along, but not quite. So that runs through all the books I got at the con. So now we're going to move on to the next phase of stuff. So that's bringing us here to the conclusion of all my stuff. My last thing to show you is my RoboCop vs. Terminator Part 2. This is the second piece that goes along with those customs from those NECA collectibles. All Simonson box art. That's one reason why I got it. I loved it. This is future RoboCop. A little bit more than I paid for the last one, but had to have it. You're at a con, you kind of spend a little bit more sometimes. But this completes my set there too. So that actually wraps up our video. Now we are going to kind of review real quick. So this is all on what we're reviewing here is that we have the scavenger hunt, the Big Picture scavenger hunt going on. Remember, M items for me. You'll find out who the next person is with their next letter of the C, and so on. Collect those all up. Email them to mcbcfa@gmail.com, and in the running. So I want to say thanks for coming by and watching. I know it was a little long. I did get quite a bit of stuff. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And remember, keep making comic book collecting fun. Till we meet again. See you guys.